Mid-60s?
Hello, this is a Star Trek intro, and just so you know, it is the mid-60s in England. I have just been informed.
It is relatively chilly in England at the moment compared to normal.
Is it
True.
usually higher than mid-60s? England doesn't really strike me as super hot.
I suppose
But
it would normally be 20 degrees around this time of evening.
Yeah. Mid-August,
like
early
17.
August, it's usually warmer.
Well, it is a balmy, unbearably, swelteringly hot 71 degrees in my home right now. It's way too warm. But the first episode is very cold. It's an ice planet. It's the naked time. Everybody's frozen with that. Well, nobody's actually frozen. Some objects that are very obviously mannequins are frozen.
Is this the one with Sam Kirk?
No, I don't think so. This is the naked time. It's the one that they just copied for TNG, but they made it worse. This one's the one that's not actually a comedy. It's actually like a horror episode. Except with comedy bits like Sulu with the sword. Don't worry about that. And a complete lack of containment protocol.
Yes. It's the one with no
Containment protocol is
self-control.
boring.
So much of Star Trek, so many episodes would never happen if these people were good at their jobs. Every single
That
series.
and like operational security, logins, that sort of thing. They only get in the way.
I
There are
remember.
times in TNG where they lock the consoles, I'm fairly sure.
I remember the episode from TNG where Data takes over the ship and Picard's trying to get the command codes back. Actually, that happens a couple times. Data takes over the ship, Moriarty takes over the ship, and then he goes to somewhere. It is like computer transfer, controls here, authorization, and then he gives his password to a room full of people.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, man? You could at least type it in.
Yeah, they always say the passwords in Star Trek. It's like,
Yeah.
now everybody... Okay, you're with command crew, but still, everybody knows your command codes now.
It's like sending... It's like getting an email with a password just pasted in.
Yeah, that's never
like,
good.
Look, even if you trust the person receiving it, it's not...
Email's not good for that.
Anyway, the episodes today are The Naked Time, where everyone goes crazy except Kirk. Then The Enemy Within, where Kirk goes crazy. And there's some weirdness around how the episode treats women, because of course there is. And then Mudd's Women, which is real sketchy. It's an episode where in this moneyless utopia where people are free to explore whatever they want, 3 women are being sold to miners on a desolate rock so they can cook and serve and clean. It's real sketchy.
There's a lot of that form of slavery in TOS.
Well, try not to talk about that too much, because I think we all sort of get the picture with TOS at this point.
Yes.
Maybe just focus on the episode itself. Anyway, 1 minute to the naked time. I should probably put up the countdown. That's important. There we go. Countdown for Discord. How about Baldur's Gate? Y'all been playing Baldur's Gate? Or have played or looked at?
I will probably play it at some point. I've been replaying Jedi Survivor at the moment.
Baldur's Gate has somewhat disappointed me in that there are almost no uses for rope. In actual D&D, like if you look up lists of what are the most useful mundane items you can carry with you, nobody will ever mention rope, because it's just assumed you have rope with you anyway, because it's used for everything. You don't need to specify, it's rope. You can use it to tie people up, you can use it to get to hard to reach places, you can use it to block stuff off. You can use it to lasso something. You can do so much stuff with rope. Also, you can press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I was so excited when I found some rope in Baldur's Gate 3, and it didn't do anything. It was just a junk item.
But I am glad that people are enjoying it, because I liked Larian from their Divinity games.
Have we seen this map painting? Not in TOS, of course, because we just started, but is this reused in TNG, that map? That looked familiar.
I know, yeah, this isn't the Sam Kurt one.
I like how Sam Kirk is just William Shatner with a mustache. A bad fake mustache. It's an interesting decision. Also, those are clearly terrible containment suits. There are massive gaps leading to people's
Yes.
faces.
That was the budget at the time, though.
But, like, they could have taped it.
Sure.
But they're trying, I guess. They have containment suits. That's a mannequin.
Yeah.
But yes, at least they have containment suits of a sort.
Well, have you seen their space suits?
These actually kind of remind me of the TNG medical suits. They're solid red and they have that red... Oh, we're in the queue chat? Why are we in the queue? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Because someone was in the queue, I think.
Here, I'll fix it. There. We're no longer in the queue. We're in the actual chat channel. Good. It's a little concerning that it didn't automatically bump us into the actual chat, because that's what the queue is supposed to do. But whatever. Oh no. Are we about to... Nope. No, what are you doing? This person deserves to die.
It is love off as well. Didn't even do it with the well, I suppose it makes a bit of sense to do it without the glove.
Rubbed
then you're not
his
doing anything else that
nose.
stuff.
What is... He's not even putting it back on. What's he doing?
Yeah. It's very interesting what that blood's doing.
If this guy dies up on the ship, he counts as an away team death. Oh, I hate this man so much. Who is this? Yep.
I love that radiation counter thingy.
It's very fancy. Spock, couldn't you have come in like 10 seconds earlier?
Oh man, the music in the most recent episode of Strange New Worlds, including the opening credits, is great.
Yeah.
New life and new civilizations.
It's apparently the first time that those people have created a musical.
Hey.
And it was really, really good.
We don't talk about Strange New Worlds here.
I know, but saying what the episode style isn't a huge spoiler. It's good. Watch Strange New Worlds.
I think we should amend the spoiler rules for TOS. Or, yeah, to expire like as soon as the last episode airs, because next week's episodes are going to be directly relevant to what's happening on Strange New Worlds right now.
Oh, fun.
Because next episode, don't even have to say anything about Strange New Worlds. Next episode, we meet who in TOS is established to be Christine Chapel's husband.
Yes.
Oh.
Or not next episode, next week.
There is a thing of this in season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Yes. Tormullen, that's his name. How long do you think this guy has to live? They have to get it. I give him 10 minutes. I think he'll actually survive for a little while. We're currently 5 minutes in. I say he dies at 15. I would think that. I mean, I'm no biology man. Wouldn't a heightened pulse necessarily result in heightened blood pressure? Just because it's pumping more blood per second?
It would depend upon the size of your veins, I suppose.
Ah, maybe Spock has massive veins.
Though it is interesting that Matoya is joking about his mandatory readers. It's like, I suppose he does have the baseline that makes sense, but he's joking that, like, I'm assuming that this is the baseline for you.
Okay, no, dude, you don't believe it. You don't belong in Starfleet. Just go somewhere else.
Can't
Oh,
talk
Nurse
about that
Chapel.
yet.
Ah, you look so different. Your hair's much poofier than I'm used to. She looks strangely like Waxana Troy. Classic Star Trek tradition. Everyone just sit around a table watching silently.
There's like, there's in the film Serenity, sequel to Firefly, they have where everyone just collapses and dies sitting at their desks and things.
Definitely not intoxicated. Huh? Some form of space madness. It's not exactly a title drop, but it's a stream title drop. Yeah, no, Captain, you're probably fine. I mean, everyone wore isolation suits and you're in orbit. It's not like it's gonna come up to you. You're probably fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Definitely, nothing went wrong down there.
These
Your
people
crew
are
were consummate
highly trained. They're on the
professionals.
flagship. These are the best of the best.
Oh, that's as we know from Strange She Was, that's not strictly true.
What's that supposed to mean?
What I mean is that you have to have a high quality to get to the Enterprise, but it is still, they put in new people on the Enterprise.
Wait, next to Spock, I just noticed right as the scene ended, I think he had some sponges next to him. Some sponge props. Now this is an actual lore question. So that thing, is that a protein resequencer? Did it create that, or is that like just a delivery tray from a
I
kitchen?
think it is a protein resequencer, so certainly it's been retconned as that. They are name dropped in The Trouble with Tribbles, I think.
And they have them in Enterprise. So I hope they have them here. Didn't the producers of this, didn't they want to give Sulu like a samurai sword, a katana? I think I think that's true. I think someone wanted to give him a katana, but they were like, maybe that's a bit far even for the 60s to just stereotype him like that.
I mean, it works even today in terms of katanas
No,
are
it doesn't. A
used.
katana's the worst sword.
I know it is. It's a
They're
sword.
made of slag. I mean, strictly speaking, he's not wrong. As we learn in TNG, they are literally destroying space every time they warp somewhere.
They made the same argument about flying.
You're all
Yeah,
steamed up. What?
we have no business out here.
Well, whose is it, Joe? Oh, prepare for the counter to go up.
Well, he doesn't die in
that's...
this scene.
He should. But he deserves it. But that knife, that looks very difficult. Why did my stream... Oh, my stream ended. Why... That knife doesn't look strong enough to actually severely hurt him.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Yeah. You know what? One thing at the very beginning when they go down on the planet and they wear those funny mesh things for like the radiation protection. And he takes off his glove. It's like, why would you take off the glove? But it reminds me, like, remember in 2014 there was like an Ebola pandemic, and we were a little bit worried. Like one guy actually
I don't
had
remember an Ebola pandemic. I remember talk about Ebola. At least not an Ebola pandemic here.
Yeah, it wasn't here.
There's an endemic.
Right. True. But you know, the funny thing is, Ebola originates from Central Africa, and then this time the outbreak was in West Africa, which was frustrating. So the thing is that I was reading a log because
Hang on. I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to make a new rule. Historical context has to be 10 seconds or less.
So I read about an Ebola doctor a doctor during the Ebola pandemic who saw the sharps jar being full, and he pricked himself on the sharps jar, and you're not supposed to do that.
That's 10 seconds. That's all you get. But yeah, that's... It's good to know that even in real life, Star Trek really is true to life in that respect, and that people have a complete disregard for medical safety.
Yeah.
As we know from the past 3 years.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Just gesture vaguely at the planet.
Something marvelous about these episodes is that the characters are extraordinarily well developed, even at this stage.
That's really the point of this episode. This episode, what it's doing, or what it's about to start doing, is it's taking everyone down to sort of who they are at the core and just exaggerating it massively. It's teaching the audience about the characters.
Mm.
Sulu loves stabbing people. Also, yes, it was mentioned, yes, this is a real Sulu. Last time we got fake blue shirt Sulu. This is actual Sulu.
The helm officer Sulu.
I mean, yeah, he was still called Sulu, but he didn't do any... He was like the ship's botanist or something.
Yeah. And like you said, he wore a blue shirt, so he wasn't the Sulu that we know. Kind of like Worf and Geordi in the first episode of TNG, first couple episodes. They weren't even like... We had another chief engineer, and obviously Tasha was chief security.
What even was the point of Worf in season 1? What did he do? He was just there to be a Klingon and get shot down.
Yeah, it was just to introduce us to the new old bad guys. But
oh, that's all you... Oh, just compensate. Thanks. He wouldn't have done that without you. Thanks for your great leadership.
They started compensating this early. I didn't know that. They compensate all the time on their
compensate.
shows. Wow.
Yeah, this becomes the climax of the episode when the ship like almost crashes into the orbit of the planet, like burns up in the atmosphere. So he forgets how to compensate, and then eventually there's no one compensating.
Why is this man died? It's because he's the worst, that's why. Wait, is this the guy who went down to the planet, or is this some rando?
This is the guy who
Yeah,
went down to
he
the
stabbed
planet.
himself. He
Okay,
didn't
yeah, he's
die
the worst.
yet. He stabbed himself. I mean, he only took
He
off his
took
glove
off his gloves in a contaminated environment and wiped his nose. He deserves
Yeah,
his fate.
he kind of him smelling his own fingers was a little weird after that.
Okay, is he actually dead? Officially? Yes, counter goes up.
Yep.
That's a
Reverse
That's
the
Major-
usual quote there.
that's Majel Barrett.
That is Waxana, yes.
Okay, thanks. She's very
We're up
beautiful.
to 5 deaths. 5 OA team members have died.
I didn't realize we're not even up to 5 episodes.
Not there's been more than 5 deaths. It's just specifically people who were on the away team.
Right.
We've
But we're
had
not even-
so much death.
We're still on episode 4. And there's already
Well, it
5.
wouldn't be a fun story if there wasn't a lot of death with it.
I mean, look, in a way, death is very dramatic, so overusing it kind of makes it less meaningful. I mean, I'm
It's
not
true.
criticizing the show, but I'm just saying it's hard. It's amazing they got away with it. I mean, it's amazing the show even launched anywhere. I just watched because I wasn't here for the Riley episode. I watched it, the whole thing about smacking Nurse Chapel's behind and why that's not allowed. I was like, how did this show even like get off the
It
air?
was the 60s, man. People,
Yeah.
that's just what people were like. The 60s sucked.
I should say here,
I
even
mean,
now,
people still do that, really.
look, he's like, come down and sweat down with me in the gym over here. He puts his arm around him, my lad. A little bit too much innuendo.
An interesting thing to note is,
So
of
what are
course,
you
that
doing?
they have the insignia sewn into their uniforms as opposed to Strange New Worlds has retconned it to be that it's actually a badge.
Yeah, it's like a foil thing here.
Hello there.
Hang on, I
Hell-
thought that was a Star Wars thing. People choosing to die.
Good afternoon. So this part is weird. I don't understand how it gets to do with the rest of the episode. But McCoy just says he just gives up on life. It's like, how do you what does that have to? That kind of man doesn't give up. Meaning he knows him.
No, meaning he doesn't know him, because this episode is all about exposing people's core selves.
Right.
He
True. He had self.
was a man to give up. He just didn't know it yet.
When Spock was going through his psychological profile, or maybe that's now, he's saying he had a lot of self doubt as part of his.
Oh, wait, I just thought of a canon thing. So this episode, its whole thing, ignoring the physics, is it's shrinking and like shedding mass somehow. It's like a planet that's about to go nova somehow. But maybe because this is how tiny planets happen, maybe this is what's happening in Voyager in the intro.
It seems
They're
that-
observing
I
a
think
planet
it's-
going under the same process.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to indicate the distance change, and it might not work very well.
I mean, if it's not shedding mass, then their orbit should stay the same.
Okay. So when Spock orders him off the bridge, and he orders Aurora to take his post because Sulu already abandoned his post, he says, "Let the women work, universal suffrage." And considering it's the '60s, women have only had the right to vote in the U.S. for about 40 years or so. But
Now he's leering at women passing by.
yeah. I gotta say though, these lights being light
Ooh,
blue
Michael's
and
paper.
Door to open it. That's cute.
A little bit of pre-Star Wars Force.
something I'd never realized or was that Strange New Worlds didn't make up the romance between Spock and
Careful.
Nurse. They have it in this episode. I never remembered it. She does love him.
Well, she has a husband, so.
Yeah, she's also infected by this thing, this contagious neural shock thing.
Don't do it, Riley. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay,
Also,
one, Riley, you're clearly not Irish. You're the most American sounding man I've ever seen.
well,
Also worth
Yeah.
noting that badge isn't sewn in. Her badge. It's actually a
Hmm.
badge. Or at least it looked like it.
yeah, it's like crumpled up like a clip.
There we are.
Hey,
Aha!
Sulu's got a great body.
Is he gonna stab? He's gonna stab someone, right?
No, he actually pricks himself.
He would never. He's an expert swordsman.
Oh
Blame it
yeah,
on the
he
influence
tests
of
the
the
end
thing.
of the blade.
There's not even any blood. He's
Why?
fine.
No, the tip is pretty bad.
He's just like, ow, that hurt.
There's another racist joke
Phaser?
coming up.
That is a very bent fencing sword.
Yeah, I mean, it's a prop, so.
Yes.
But they could have, like, hammered it a little bit, I guess.
It might
I
be
They
think
weren't
it's-
counting on people's displays to be high enough resolution to
Yeah.
tell.
It wasn't even 480. It was like just black and
This
white.
reminds me of that scene in Lower Decks Season 1 where some primitives with spears board the ship, and they're like, we have you surrounded. Boimler's just like, yeah, but I have a phaser. And he just shoots Zulu. Come on, you got a gun.
use gun on man.
Oh, by the way, security's useless because when Spock sends Riley down, he goes, "Security, make sure he arrives to the sick bay." And next thing you know, the guy's an engineer and taking over the ship because all the controls are
They
routed.
learned a little bit in TNG because they start saying, like, Lieutenant, please escort Ensign
Yes,
whoever to
yes.
sickbay.
They must have started after this.
However, they then also sort of ruin it a little bit because the person will always say, I know the way, sir, and just go on their own anyway. It's like, come on. What's the point?
Yeah, and at one point, Worf finds a Romulan just like interloping somewhere in engineering and captures him. It's like, that's only because the security officer was there. So they do let people prowl around. You know, something amazing in TNG, they almost didn't build the engineering set for the pilot, and Gene Roddenberry knew that like if you didn't build it in that pilot episode, you weren't going to get it at all, and he insisted it be built for. So he wrote a scene.
Whoa. He just said France. Is this
In
who
the beginning,
Sulu
too-
is at his core? What is this teaching us about Sulu? Because I was talking up this episode about teaching us characters.
I think he's being a musketeer, because who was he saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Spock was saying, is that he's painted himself as swashbuckler.
Yeah,
That,
Rish-
Rish-
that line
Richelieu?
from Uhura I appreciate, though.
Yeah.
Fair
well, I
maiden,
mean,
sorry.
it's a
No,
sexist.
true.
It's
Is that the
racist.
first nerve pinch?
I think so.
Yeah.
But then, wait, what? I remember in TOS at some point they talk about like the Vulcan death grip and how it was just a bluff. There's no such thing.
Yeah, that was to like psych out the someone who wanted to take control of the Enterprise.
But then it is a thing. It's just got retconned that it's actually legit.
Yes, that did happen. But
Oh, and this line gets copied almost word for word in the TNG version with Wesley.
oh, that's so funny.
But Wesley is not under the influence of anything. He's just doing it because he's a kid.
Yeah, I guess what it teaches us about Sulu is that he's ripped. That's all we really need to know.
So we have 20 minutes left until we until we burn up in the atmosphere.
Well, there's also 20 minutes left in the episode, so
And there's 11 minutes left in the episode.
there's way more than 11 minutes left.
Okay. Maybe we're 11
We're at
minutes in.
25 minutes out of 50, and discounting credits, it's like 2 minutes
Yeah.
or 3.
Okay. Suspenseful.
Hey, Soma and Mr. Et, or ET, as you prefer.
Yes.
What?
As the non-Americans here, how do you feel about people like Riley who say, "Yeah, I'm Irish"? This very American man.
I mean, I'm not Irish, but I know they feel quite strongly about it.
Yeah.
Do you identify as other nationalities because you have ancestors of that nationality?
I mean, so okay. In my case, I was born in South Africa.
Oh,
I now live in the UK. I can say
I
I'm
always
South
forget the
African. I
South
lived there
Africa
for
thing.
18 years.
You say it every
Um,
stream, and I always forget. How do I always forget? It's in my brain. I know this.
I mean, I
It's there.
identify as
The
British.
The accent is also
as opposed to
closer
English.
for Americans. Sorry.
But at the same time, it's like that's fine because I was born there and lived there for the majority of my life. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's
the
chill.
thing. But I don't know if someone's like,
I guess really my base
think-
question is, do people in Britain do that? Because everybody in America does that. They have like a
Because we don't need to.
great-great-great-grandfather from some other country, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm Irish."
Yeah, but
The
that's
thing
because
is that we sort of
America's a
seeded
new
all of
enough.
that, so
America's a new enough country
It's
that
not that new.
everyone
It's
in
been 250
America.
years.
It's one of the newest countries in Western civilization. But the point is, everyone in America, almost everyone in America, can track their ancestry back to a point where they weren't in America. Right? Whereas in Europe, you can have families that have lived in England for a lot longer than they care to look back to.
Yeah, for example,
So-
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was pretty much my point.
I learned that one of the reasons that World War I is remembered in the UK and not in America is because like people like their great grandfather,
Well,
their
what do you mean
grandfathers.
World War I's not remembered in America? Who doesn't remember World War One?
Our memorial is pretty pathetic. We don't have a national museum for it. But in the UK, they wear poppies on their
Yes.
pins.
Yes, this is the thing.
Every year. So and
Is that an
and
actual thing? Do you actually do that, or is
yes,
just
we wear
Yeah,
poppies
we
every
do
single year.
actually do that.
members of parliament do it. But because and it comes from World War One. Like our Veterans Day is also technically from World War One, but in fact we commemorate like every war. So we don't remember World War One, but they have generations of people who like I remember when in Syria
hang
they
on? We're
used
past
gas.
the 10-second historical context, but it wasn't World War II, so that's fine.
I remember
Also, I really hope Ensign or Lieutenant Riley here. I really hope we shoot him, and that's how we stop the singing.
it's pretty. Irish immigrants were kind of came to the U.S. in the 1880s, so people would have still it's not even 100 years, so just 2 or 3 generations. They would have been very familiar with, like, oh yeah, we're from this little village. Now, we have a lot of intermarriage, so I would even argue most Americans aren't aware of they consider themselves even generic white. That's not my term. That's what I've heard someone use, because they don't, because basically they're from Minnesota.
Okay, hang on, back to the episode. Spock. Why does Spock have a hypnotist circle in front of him? A swirl.
He was patching something together in his hands. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing.
It looked like a mask filter.
This episode reminds me of The Nth Degree, where Barclay's a genius. He takes over the ship. This guy isn't a genius. He's like a laughing idiot. But singing. But basically, you have to
Spock,
break in.
Gun. Why didn't you bring a gun? Oh, we're getting a little Bioshock here too. No, Spock, come back. Spock, you can hear that, right? You're only like 5 feet away. Nope, he's not going to help. Okay.
They're tracking
Thanks,
through
Spock.
it with the faces.
You think he'd be able to hear it?
With those ears of his, is that what you're saying? Look at McCoy. It is shocking to me just how often they push the McCoy is racist angle. Every time he has a scene with Spock.
I know. Even in the movies, it's like constant.
Yeah.
It's kind of. It doesn't get better with age.
Like,
it
I
just
get
gets
he's
worse.
Southern, but Jesus.
It just gets worse. But in the beginning too, like as green as your blood is, it's like you got to point out we got different color blood.
How is McCoy not infected? He's been touching all these sick people.
No one's been groping him though. Let me mute myself.
Chapel, why are you talking like that? Why are you talking all slow and weird?
Yeah, you can see clearly there. Hers is attaching the two bits together, or across the two bits together.
In the last episode we watched last week with the barrier, the galactic barrier, and the friend Charlie, the Mitchell guy goes too powerful. Kirk does some like too much acting when he's thrown on the floor, and he makes that face like he's being thrown
William
around.
Shatner overacting.
Yes. So that's a fantastic example of overacting. But this
He
episode,
would
I feel though,
never.
this episode has a great amount of acting. Like Kirk here, but also Nurse Chapel, especially in Spock. It's just too much. I mean, this episode is all about great acting.
Wait, is Yeoman Rand qualified to take the helm? Is she trained? Because she's a yeoman, right? And that's
She
just
must have
basically like
some
personal assistant.
experience.
But then again,
She
is she an officer? How do yeomen work?
No, she's
I'm not sure.
unenlisted, so she's not in the ensign. Ensign's the lowest enlisted
Okay,
rank.
I was just wondering if she went to the academy. Because if she'd gone to the academy,
No.
yeah, sure.
She's not officer.
So is yeoman the equivalent of like the 24th century petty officer ranks?
Yeah, it is.
So like one below chief, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeoman
So
is
okay, so
the
yeoman
second
would be
rank
what they
in
would then
Stronghold
call
2.
crewman.
Yeah, he used the term crewman here too, actually, in the original series. That's a common.
But are they different? So they're different ranks.
Yeah,
yeoman is below crewman. You're correct.
Okay.
Let's see. According to mynavyhr.navy.mil, yeomen perform administrative and clerical work. They receive visitors, answer phone calls, and sort incoming mail. They type stuff, so they're, admin and
Clerks.
clerical.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
but I guess she's better at piloting than the nobody else on the bridge.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're like an ensign or a lieutenant junior grade or something on the bridge, and the captain goes, "Yeoman, you take the helm," and you sit there like, "What?"
Yeah, absolutely. It means everything's going crazy. I love this scene so much. I totally forgot about it. But she kind of implies here, right, that Vulcans are just faking it, and Spock's like, "Yeah, we are." No, we do. It's a ritual and a philosophy and a way of life. We're not.
Yeah, their philosophy is faking it till they make it.
No. You can't say
their
that out
whole
loud.
Society.
You cannot say that out loud because it depends upon not faking it.
They're friends. They know each other, remember, from Strange New Worlds.
Yes, they're friends. Nothing more.
Even though I'm not a huge fan of
They just love each other as friends, platonically.
No, there's a lot going on here. It's amazing how deep these characters are.
That's what we're joking around.
Okay. I forgot where I am. I'm actually like really enjoying the acting.
Does he call her Christine in Strange New Worlds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, and something else I love about TOS, like the lighting. Look at the purple room. Like you just get so much interesting cinematography. The green.
So it's not historical context, but I do have a question I wanted to keep to under 10 seconds, which is, what's the deal with people having colored lights in their rooms? I don't get it. I feel like that would just hurt my eyes.
It's a mood thing sometimes. Look at that Purple.
Like, I can
I
make
think
my
one
room
of the
purple if I
reasons-
want to, but why would I want to?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons they do it in TOS and a lot of shows back then is because there wasn't enough variety in the sets to be able to make them visually interesting. So changing the
Right.
color was a nice, easy way of adding something to the screen to make it pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning of the episode when they were on the nuked out planet, to me it just
Oh,
looked
God.
like insulation or like styrofoam or something you spray on. It's a foam that you spray on to the walls. But you're right, it's all like drywall sets over
Scotty
here.
literally took 15 minutes to cut through that.
To cut a
He's been
piece
there
of
for
drywall.
so long.
Look, it's titanium, not drywall, okay?
He's going pretty fast whenever the camera's on him.
Maybe he
Also,
had to
lower-
shoot
recharge
him.
batteries for his little thing.
Oh, at least he brought a gun, even if he's not going to use it.
Lower decks established that 30 minutes I can't change the laws of physics is all an act.
TNG established that, where we established that Scotty's just lying. No, wait, a movie established that. One of the TOS movies.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll
remember
have
which
to
one.
Movie,
you
yeah,
before.
a TOS movie did, and then TNG.
I think that was
developed
Generations. Like, Scotty, how quickly can you repair it? It's like, all right, give me 4 hours, I'll do it. You
Mr. Scott, do you always pad your repair estimates by a factor of 2?
potentially.
Okay, no, then it
Does
was when
anyone
they
else
stole
do
the
that? Do you
Enterprise.
guys do that at work? Do you pad your estimates?
I don't
You
want
could
to
definitely
Oh,
patch it a
God.
little bit.
I start a new job tomorrow. Should I do it from the get-go?
Yes.
No, not from the get-go. You do it later once you show you know what you're doing and you're established.
Well, because when you're starting a new job, you're necessarily going to be pretty slow, because
Mhm.
it's just how it works.
Mhm.
Just maintain that same amount of time.
Mhm.
And just like,
How
no,
did you
that's
get
just
better?
how long it takes. I'm not getting it done
Right.
3 times as fast.
Spock is amazing over here. I mean, I know they're infected with this neuro thing, but
See, we're learning about Spock and how, yes, he actually does have strong emotions. He just hides them.
and he's like,
He's faking it.
and it's harder for him because he's half human, so he's totally torn up. I don't get this math thing. Sorry, it's kind of funny. Why is he reciting?
He's trying to
numbers?
logic himself back into
Oh, okay.
He's
reason.
distracting himself. He's
Thank
thinking
you,
about
thank you.
He's reapplying the logic.
All right, I would just go over my
6
multiplication.
times, 6 times, crying. Okay.
Poor guy.
I think this is the only time we see him cry.
Probably.
Or, well, no, I was going to say the only time we see him show emotion, but that's not true.
When he's in that
happy.
reactor
Yeah,
dying,
when he sees Kirk is alive.
Jim,
Yep.
I
Yes,
always
this
shall
is
be
where
Also
we
that
get
time-
your friend.
That time he goes to that planet that alters everyone's moods, the shore leave planet, and everyone
Yeah.
is all happy and weird. You cannot change the laws of physics.
This is where Stotty pulls off the engineering feat, which is beaten in Enterprise.
So
To be fair,
I've just had a thought about Spock.
yes.
So in the cage, he's shown to have emotions, at least more so than in
Yeah.
the rest of TOS, right?
Mhm.
The cage obviously then being retconned into being in the
The
past.
menagerie.
But in Strange New Worlds, we generally see Spock portrayed as a little bit more emotional than we do in TOS.
Mhm.
But that's actually quite a nice tie-in because it means that the cage isn't non-canon by showing him have emotions because he's just a little bit more emotional.
Well,
than he
Discovery has
was in
directly
TOS.
shown that the cage is canon.
Well, yeah,
Parts
but
of it.
it was just weird
It's about Spock's
initially.
acting and the canon.
Yeah, but it's nice that it actually does tie in a little bit with Strange New Worlds.
I do have thoughts about the canonicity of Strange New Worlds, but I'm going to wait until next week when Strange New Worlds is over.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot that we should do to change certain things, is all I'll say at the moment.
I tend to just think of every single series of Star Trek as just a slightly parallel universe that
Yes,
is
honestly,
perhaps...
just each episode. It's probably easiest.
Yeah.
Just don't worry
each
about it.
series is fine. Like DS9 can be its own entity, Voyager can be its own entity, TNG can be its
Yeah.
own entity. Well, TNG, yeah.
Picard, TNG Picard can be its own entity.
The
Yes.
sort of thing always frustrates me though, because they clearly want credit, like they want us to be happy that they're setting the show on the Enterprise or whatever. So like, they don't get to have their cake and eat it too.
What else are you gonna do with cake?
Still rather they keep it consistent.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the death of Superman. People say that like destroyed comics because you kept bringing him back.
I like the way Kirk's voice changes when he starts getting emotional. He gets way more dramatic.
I love the slapping in the 60s. It's like the whole hair flies.
Oh, learning more
Just
about
slap
Spock.
the sense into him.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, as I was saying, to be fair, although this sort of thing was done in Enterprise, in Enterprise the engines were shut down for all of like 2 seconds before restarting. Here
Mhm.
they've been shut down for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. Orbit
But he does
is,
a full restart of the engines in 2 minutes. Whilst at
Or-
warp, which is pretty damn
Don't tell me that again because it has been done.
impressive.
I mean, but here's the thing. Technically, once you're in synchronous orbit, you don't really need to do too much. It's only if
Only if you're actually, well, not in orbit.
pointing downwards or something and hitting
But remember,
the
this planet is also like being weird and fluctuating mass and changing
Yeah.
gravity somehow.
Okay, I missed that. Okay.
This planet's freaking out. Oh yeah, the bit where Kirk's not really affected because the episode's about exposing who people are at their core, and who Captain Kirk is at his core is just he's the ship
The same
captain. That's all
guy.
he is. That's
Yeah.
who he is. He's
Pretty
all
much
about the ship.
the same reason why Anson Mount doesn't sing too much.
No, okay, Kirk. No, go. Stop that. Go back to the ship.
Oh, by the way, we know the intermix formula.
The ratio of matter to antimatter to achieve warp 3.
We know the formula.
This does establish why Kurt is happy in Trouble with Tribbles when Scotty says, "But they insulted the ship."
Oh, never mind. This intermix formula is for time and antimatter. We're still doing time warp here.
A few days no braid on my shoulder. This is the second time they've mentioned braids in reference to like rank and position. What is the braid?
I think it's still lapels on their
on the
wrist.
sleeve. Is that what I mean?
But he
sleeve,
he
yeah.
said
Right on their sleeve.
that's what I was guessing last week, but this time he specifically said braid on my shoulder.
Oh, maybe it's only the dress uniform.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The Commodores have it. Like, remember how the Commodores had a stripe?
No, I don't remember, but
Okay.
I'm sure that's probably right. But
we haven't used Commodores in TNG too much. Like,
I
it
think
was a
there
great
was
rank.
was there
Was there a
a
s- was
Commodore in TNG?
I was going
I
to
think
say,
one.
were there any?
There was
I
one.
feel like there was probably one in season. I mean, there's definitely a Commodore in Star Trek Picard. There's Commodore O.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
I feel
important.
like there was at least one Commodore in TNG though.
Oh, the
Yeah,
film
you know,
quality has certainly dropped in this scene.
I grew up in the 90s, and I remember reading a manual for a Commodore computer from the 80s. So, like,
Commodore Norrington.
back when we had like IBM compatible PCs, you had to like say that it was IBM compatible. Commodore was like the earliest.
Apparently Beverly, Dr. Crusher turned into a
Oh.
Commodore at some point.
Right.
Shit rip.
That's how we've
Why
actually.
did he even rip it? We know those work through shirts. Why did he do that? Okay, I just looked it up. There actually aren't any Commodores in TNG.
Okay.
I thought there might have been one
Except
in.
There's
what's it
one
called?
mention of the word Commodore on a screen in a display.
Okay. So we mention it. Okay, but we don't see them. Okay. It's all fleet admirals at that point. You know.
There's lots of admirals in DNG.
The rank of Commodore is equal to fleet admiral.
No, it's lower. It's in between captain and admiral lower, whatever it's called, rear ab. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just above captain.
Okay.
What direction? The direction is up. Just leave. God, Sulu, this is what happens when you transfer a botanist to the helm.
Something I realized about the aesthetic, right? Because we kind of look at it as so antiquated. Submarines were new at the time, so this is all submarine buttons and widgets.
How do I add a
Radar.
death counter and a timestamp? The death counter
There's-
is literally just a text source in OBS that I just type. The timestamp is something I literally programmed, and it's running in a separate window, and I'm doing a window capture of it. So if
Ryan's
I
our
unblur the
tech
screen for a
is-
second.
If we didn't have Ryan,
Unblurring screen.
So yeah, I
Unless
just
we-
have a little program running it in a little window.
none of
Right,
us
so
would be able.
everyone on the stream right now, when he blurs it again, right, you have to ask why it's blurred.
But you gotta love the high pitch frequencies. We see this a few times when we
This
have.
sounds awfully a lot like a phaser.
Yeah, that's clearly the
Yeah.
same sound effect. Though I don't remember what show it was, but I was watching some other sci-fi show, and their weapons were also just the photon torpedo sound effect. So I looked it up, and it's just a stock sound that TOS used.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So
Then you can
we
just use
fixed
whatever
some.
you want.
McCoy said it spreads through perspiration, so we fixed the sweat virus.
Oh, but going back to the timestamp thing, the timestamp, I did find a solution that's like a plugin for OBS, but for some reason it would only update like once every 1.2 seconds, so it would be uneven, and it was weird.
So it says here we're traveling faster than normal space. So they're doing basically in TNG, the where no one has gone before, when they're accelerated through the Traveler, and we get that amazing shot through the galaxies, and we wind up in M33 galaxy. This is what they're doing.
I feel compelled to point out this isn't
Remotely
how anything works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but relativity was like cutting edge at the time.
No,
Hardly
it
30 years
was
old.
50
Yeah.
years old.
Cutting edge.
Well,
30 years old, because the Copenhagen conference was in the 30s.
but sort of
So-
what I was
Einstein
thinking
wrote
is
the paper
even
in 1918.
in the
1910
case of
or
time dilation,
1901.
you
1910.
you always
1901.
observe yourself as going at 1 second per second.
Yeah.
The rate that you feel like you're going through time is always constant.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of the universe moves differently relative to you.
Yeah.
So
But,
their chronometer going backwards makes no sense unless it's synced up with a
Yeah.
starbase or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But good thing we didn't fly out of the galaxy or anything.
Warp 1. It's going to take forever. Where are you going?
He's just testing it out.
Okay. Time warp.
So they
It
basically
sent you
got
back in
thrown.
time, Kirk. What do you think it did?
They got thrown across the galaxy.
Is that long enough to say the outpost?
easily.
Is the outpost
not.
still dead?
Oh, so the I don't think anyone cares.
Does it, Spock? Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Well, it's going to happen a couple times, but not for anything.
Now, Spock, remember this
don't
for when you
think
happen
we're
to
gonna-
spot a whale.
Whales, Mr. Spock, whales.
It's true that, by the way, in
Maybe that's why it was so easy to go back in time and before.
Yeah, they do it a couple times in TOS where time travel is just some casual thing.
No, but in TNG 2, after the Traveler threw them a million miles throughout the not even a million, throughout the galaxies, they should have learned that technology and been able to replicate it.
It wasn't technology, though. It was the power of spirit.
Okay, right.
Also, 1 minute if I press 1 on my numpad to restart the thing. 1 minute to... What's the next episode? What's it called? The Enemy Within. That's the
Yes.
one
With evil
where
guys.
Kirk gets split into his good and evil half, and the evil half assaults a woman, and then they gloss over it.
Yeah, fun.
Did your great grandfather fight in World War One, Ryan? Do you know anything about what your ancestors did in World War One?
Don't worry about it.
They're definitely Germans.
Actually,
Oh, I honestly wasn't even thinking about, but no, I think that's actually true. Because my ancestry is like pretty much all German.
hmm
No, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, I don't even know who he was, dude.
well,
But honestly,
I
probably.
actually,
Hang on, press play.
on the
5,
topic,
4, 3, 2, 1, play. Go. At Studios.
on the topic, my grandparents were going through some old jewelry and stuff that they had. They were giving it to other family members to throw away and stuff. And I had to look through the table, and I actually found my great grandfather's World War One service medal.
Wow, that's so cool.
Oh, look, it's a dog in a dog costume.
I
It's perfect.
mean, it doesn't actually look bad.
No, that's pretty good. That's a Targ.
It's just that it's
It's a
Look,
dog.
in HD it looks bad.
it's
but
too obvious that it's a dog.
It's a space
Hmm.
dog.
But I mean, you can't
It's
really
a
cover the dog's
unicorn dog.
face because that's cruel.
Yeah. It's a good dog, by the way.
That's
It's a mutated tribble.
It's a space lion.
I forgot what that yellow sand is.
Is that like sulfur?
Yeah, I was thinking sulfur.
There's a spice, like cumin or coriander.
There's
Yellow.
a
But it's got to be
episode
some
of
sort of. It messes with the transporter somehow.
yeah.
So it's got to be
Melange.
some mythical space dust.
Yeah. But there's an episode of Stargate where they're literally on the Canadian sulfur hills, I think. I don't remember what they're called. But they're literally on that, and it was a nightmare film in there, apparently. For the actors.
Sulfur smells bad, like rotten eggs.
Yeah.
The episode Arena has a lot of sulfur.
Sorry, we couldn't make that out,
Say
Coral.
again.
Sorry, the episode Arena also had a lot of sulfur.
The episode Lena a little sulfur. I see you're on a mobile phone. Maybe try like from a wired connection.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't get my last microphone to work because I wanted to join the first episode and that didn't work out.
Yeah, the microphone you're using, I can understand you a little bit, but it's like only the bass is coming through.
Welcome to the show.
Evil dog? Wait, did we get the evil dog already? I was looking away.
Not yet. He's
Okay.
Did he? Okay.
bringing up the captain now.
That dog was really patient.
Evil dog.
Never trust the transporter.
The transport effect was done by putting glitter in a glass of water and swirling it around, and recording that and overlaying it over Kirk or whomever.
The transporter was created as a cost-saving measure, so they didn't have to make transition sequences.
Yeah, landing on a planet
so they
every
didn't have
week.
to land each time, yeah.
But also, this thing is super unreliable. Never go in a transporter.
Yeah.
I'm with McCoy 100%.
It provided a lot of story opportunities in the end as well.
Yeah, but it also creates a lot of story problems where the answer is just beam away.
My mom has a panic attack every time before she gets on a plane. So like that kind of fear of travel is just sorry. I
Well,
can't.
as we said in
Wait,
the past,
prepare for evil face.
Yes.
Yes.
Look at that pink lipstick.
Very intimidating, Bill.
But
Wait,
yeah,
did he lose his
as we said in
tail?
the past on this
So-
stream, transporters are literally murder machines.
Yeah, but I wanted to about World War One.
No more World War One. World War
But you know,
One is over.
we're on the opening credits, so I figured I
No,
may.
it's too
In
far.
that
Alright.
case, World War II.
So how about that George Washington? Remember Bunker Hill, guys, and how it was actually nearby Breeds Hill? Remember that?
Crossing the Potomac.
Funnily enough, the World War I Service Medal is actually called the George Cross.
Oh wow.
So Captain Kirk, evil Captain Kirk. They did make him evil by going heavier on the makeup, but like even regular Captain Kirk wears eyeliner. Everybody on, well, not
Yeah.
everybody. A lot of people on TOS wear eyeliner.
Yeah.
Spock wears a lot.
Spock wears blue. No, your eyeshadow. Eyeliner would be the mascara thing, but eyeshadow, blue eyeshadow.
The lighting in that camera angle, I feel like.
Oh, he is wearing eyeliner.
So this
here.
is like a post-dated captain's log. This is a log they make in the future, and they're
Yes.
just playing it now.
They do that a lot in TNG.
I don't remember that as much. I always remember it as a narration. Like, this is what we're doing now. We're now waiting for the Ferengi vessel
Yeah,
to
that's
surrender.
something
True.
that I always thought was weird about TNG. They're always in the present tense, but it's like Captain Picard is just like sitting there.
Recording the same log, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we can handle 2 William Shatners. That's too much.
I don't think we can handle the one.
God, how many William Shatners do we get? We get good William Shatner, we get evil William Shatner, mirror William Shatner, William Shatner with a mustache. Is there any
We get
others?
Lieutenant Kirk.
No, that's William Shatner with a mustache.
Okay, thanks.
Ooh, more plundered relics, and he has a bell. Is that a bell on his shelf?
Yeah, or like a little incense tray, even maybe.
Ah, yes, Windex. Good. The
They
most
were
important
actually very,
sound.
very futuristic at the time. Spray bottles were very new.
Aren't those bottles?
Something to keep in mind.
Don't they have like a paper on the outside to give it a color? Like the bottles are colored, not the
Yeah,
liquid.
yeah.
Hmm.
It does look like paper.
But yeah, oh god, I forgot about that fact that the reason they're here as spray bottles is because they were a new invention. So like, look how futuristic it is in the show. Everyone has spray bottles.
Even the automatic opening doors was like, no way.
Ooh, sorry and brandy. God, why do I know what kind of bottle that is?
Because
Sorry,
it's used
Brandy.
It's because everybody knows what kind of bottle that is.
Yeah, what kind of bottle does Aldeb? Oh no. Okay,
Oh my god.
everybody look away. This scene is the worst.
This is not acceptable behavior.
I
This
mean,
would
that is
not
kind
get
of the
aired
point.
today.
I love the purple lights in the room that they use for their TOS quarters. I know obviously we can't use it as a set today, but I think
I like how that metal grill.
yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I like how that metal grill is painted pink because it's a women's quarters, but no, Captain Kirk's is as well. That's fine.
Yeah. And
They didn't
Spock has
change
a
the
big
paint.
Even big Vulcan mural in his, right?
This
think he
really
posted-
is very clearly the same set with a different colored light.
I guess that's what lets you know it's a different set too. The like purple or pink mood lighting. When Spock was crying in the last episode about like his torn love for Yeoman Rand or Nurse Chapel.
Chapel.
Sorry, Nurse Chapel.
Christine.
Christine. He was wearing a lot of blue eye shadow. A lot. Like Cleopatra level.
Ooh, crossfade. In my
They
Star
should
Trek, we never. TOS does seem to be bigger on fade transitions. Later shows don't really do fades.
That was all the rage in the 60s.
We
Two
have
puppies.
transitions.
They literally just got the dog to bark and then added that sound on top.
No, that's a different dog. That's a more like a little rough one. This one's a very
Hmm.
domesticated one. Very like well mannered.
Well, I mean, I don't think they actually got a vicious dog, because they're just dog actors.
It looked like a chihuahua that was just aggressively barking.
If it
Look,
should happen to a man, God forbid, who knows if it could happen to a man.
Look, so we
That's
have braids
impossible.
on Kirk's costume right now.
Now, this scene, if you're particularly sensitive to the concept of assaults, this scene might be troubling.
It was already foreshadowed when he like barged into her bedroom.
Now,
Oh,
I do have other problems with this scene, which is the fact that her mirror is super dirty and needs some Windex. Like, you can't see anything. Everything's just blurry.
you know, it's because there's so much camera work in the background that if you had a mirror that was actually reflecting, you would see like all the cameras.
Janice, get a gun.
So it's more like a barely polished metal rather than a mirror.
It looks like Marilyn Rice come to me.
No, Janice, gun. Remember, this is evil Kirk. This is like split personality, fake monster Kirk. Except these parts of Kirk are within him. Yeah, whatever.
So it's like Tuvix basically.
I guess. Janice gun. Now I'm just trying to look for camera equipment in the mirror.
Yeah, like it's barely polished, that metal. They did polish it though.
Now, this obviously is evil. Everybody, the audience is supposed to understand it's evil. We know this is just
This
dramatic
is
thing.
literally just shorthand to show that it's the evil Kirk.
My problem with it comes in the next scene when Janice is reporting it, or rather, how she says she would never report it because he's Jim.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's where the problem is.
She scratched his
Oh,
face
yeah.
pretty good. Good idea. Fight back against your aggressor. It can save your life.
Now
Give him
that
good.
was kind of Fisher's fault because he gave a really slow. You don't need to give your full name and title.
Yeah.
Just security too, and then come on, Fisher.
Yeah, but Janice needs to now lock her quarters.
Janice needs to get a gun.
Yeah, Janice needs to get pepper spray.
I mean, they've already established that they should clone someone, so they should be considering that right now.
Oh, I saw that camera jump.
Jump.
Yeah.
Listen, they were not used to such sophisticated viewers as yourselves.
Well, it's technically seen used a lot these days, so we looked for it.
Did he just go back into Janice's quarters? I don't think he did, but because it's the same hallway set, it looks... I couldn't tell the difference.
That was the sickbay level, though. So, no.
Yeah, Kirk should not be here for this report.
Yeah, this is not
That's true.
nothing. HR needs to get down there.
No, just I mean, it'd be difficult for her to have someone there, even who looks like him.
If
They
it
don't
was actually Captain Kirk that assaulted her, which strictly speaking it was, but it's a whole thing. Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
it was. It was.
Like, just him being here is going to intimidate her into not revealing information.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
Her superior officer is just, no, this is bad. What I didn't notice before is her hair is... When people talk about weaves, I never really looked that closely at a weave.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I expected, but it literally looks like a basket.
Right.
I just never actually looked at a weave. I don't know.
It's something that blew my mind. There are ancient, like medieval African empires. They built buildings out of like weaving what we would call baskets.
Wicker
like
huts.
a wall. Yeah, wicker. Right. Yeah.
Two witnesses. Maybe we take Kirk off the investigation while everyone else is looking into it.
Right. And the reason there's no scratch
Yeah.
on his face is because we have dermal regenerators.
Yeah.
Of course, there wouldn't be a scratch on your face.
Yeah.
Are those braids on his collar, on his shoulders?
Yes, sir.
So that's what
Those-
Kirk is referring to?
The wrap.
Yes, sir. Also, she didn't have blue eyeshadow when he was like attacking her, but now when she's crying, she's all like
I
dolled up.
mean, crying does that.
No, it doesn't cause blue eyeshadow.
Smudges. No, but
Yeah,
if it
she
smudges
wasn't-
something or
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Spock just said there's
She's
an
wearing-
imposter on board. There's someone among us.
that just
Right,
had
right,
no
right.
audio, even though he said something.
You're
At least
correct
on
about
my-
that, ET.
on my
Obviously,
version.
makeup gets all messed up when you cry. You know, I watched some of this episode with the original non-CGI version. I love it.
Why is Captain Kirk still here?
Who needs upscaled HD TV?
Wait, we're only 15 minutes in? What else are they going to do for 35 minutes?
Hold the dog? The unicorn dog?
I really thought we were a lot further in.
accent really is bad. I
Maybe we could talk about World War One.
hadn't realized that as much.
Yeah, there are 3 episodes of TOS that I think are this level of sketch. Well, maybe 4. I'd say this one, Mud's
Next
Women,
one.
Metamorphosis, and Turnabout Intruder.
Okay. Not bad. 4 out of 66 episodes?
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, that's actually not too bad for the 60s.
To be fair, what I'm referring to is the worst defenders, and they all have
Like,
some
okay.
level of sketch.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't report our superiors for sexual harassment. That level of, like, whoa.
Oh, wait, there's also... I don't remember enough detail to say for sure, but I think Miri is also a little weird. Like, Kirk is flirting with a child. But it's okay, because she's actually a 3,000-year-old dragon or something.
There's also, like, defense of Nazism at one point, which is like, that's not the good message to send. Hitler ran a good economy. We should all learn from him
He didn't,
and
though.
establish.
He didn't.
No, true. It was a terrible economy. That's why they lost.
Ooh, this line. You must surely realize you can't deny this whole thing. That was one of the lines that Hollow Spock said in Prodigy.
Mm.
Mm.
Because he was doubting himself, and he was like, "Oh, you can't lose faith in yourself. You must believe, so the crew believes in you."
Mm. And they used the original Nimoy voice?
Yeah,
Yes.
from all different eras, so it's really jarring because it switches between young Spock and old Spock between lines.
Oh.
And you can
okay.
tell when they use really old Spock, like from the reboot movies, because he's so... He
His
can't
voice
do
is
S's
raspy.
anymore. Everything is SH.
Right. I mean, even in Star Trek
Prosper.
3, Nimoy was getting old, you know? So his voice was getting raspy. He has such a bold, sonorous voice in the 60s. You're right, by the 2009
I like
one.
how we can see the atmosphere of the planet around the rim where the light's shining
Yeah.
through. I think it's too thick, but I like it. It's good.
It's a good effect. The Commodore wears that too.
Ooh, crossfade again. Oh, wait. There was a little weird jump in that crossfade. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Wait, what? Evil Kirk is wearing something under his shirt. What does he have? There's like something making creases.
It must be like another t-shirt.
Is this the famous girdle?
Maybe like it's not his size because it has a black collar, so they made him with a different thing, or it's a different material sticker.
There's like something poking through.
Oh,
Not on this shirt, on the other shirt. Base cycle, stunning force. Yep. No, use more force. Oh yes, William. Yes. Do the line, William.
That's true. Who do you decide as the captain?
That was a
Well-
glass smash.
Forget about the attempted rape of the subordinate. But who do you
I don't
decide
think I
who's the
can
captain?
forget about that. That's gonna stick around.
If you get two Kirks and they both beam back, which one is the captain? Let's say
Neither.
one.
Let's kill
I
them
think we
both.
should go with the one that's not evil. Like that seems like a good plan.
Okay,
This is
fair.
clearly
This
the.
is a practical matter.
Wait, I think I was right. This is Janice's quarters.
Yeah, he snuck back in there. Yeah, you're right.
That's super weird. Why would? Like,
There's
even
nothing
if
wrong
you're
with the
being
guy
evil,
putting
you
on
should
makeup.
be pragmatic about it. Why would you go back to the scene of the crime? I guess it's the last
He
place
doesn't
they'll
have the
look.
intelligence.
I guess he knows they would never be reported.
I do appreciate that while he was in here hiding out, he cleaned the window for her.
Yes.
Or the mirror, rather. No, Wilson, God, you were just told there's an imposter that looks like Kirk.
They just made a
Yeah.
shitty announcement.
He's probably check for the scratches, but still,
Wilson,
they
you're
should
the
have realized
worst.
that Kirk would hear that message.
Also, intercoms were really like fancy back then. I remember when we first had cordless phones in my house, and then you had an intercom feature where each of
Wait,
those.
Spock just said thermo heaters are being transported down. What other kind of heaters are there? Is the thermo necessary?
Maybe it's thermonuclear. Because
I
we
wouldn't
use
say he took his
thermonuclear
hand phaser. I think
energy.
Wilson is sort of fudging his report a little bit.
In space.
Wilson gave him his hand phaser.
Yeah.
Spock has blue eyeshadow on his eyebrow, like next to it. So we kept the pointy eyebrows, like super arched eyebrows. Still.
Not quite as
Yeah,
much as they were in the first few episodes, but
they weren't as steeply
they're definitely
angled.
arched.
Yeah,
It looked really
Definitely not-
weird.
They
natural.
chilled out from his days in the green sweater.
Hey, I never knew we got that shot. I thought like it looks so almost like the Enterprise, the catwalk. I didn't know that's where Enterprise got it from. It was kind of cool looking at the nacelles. Enterprise copies this exactly. Looking for the bad guy in the catwalk.
No, I'm pretty sure this is seen from The Hunt for Red October.
Mhm.
That was
But
86.
some things in here don't react well to phasers. Remember, you can't be an effective captain if you don't have a little bit of evil inside you.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to be so confused in this shot. It's going to be so hard to tell who's good Kirk, who's evil Kirk.
Well, one's wearing a yellow shirt, one's wearing a green shirt for exactly that reason. That's why he
Ah.
changed into his dress uniform for no reason whatsoever.
Also, there was another little camera jump there before Kirk jumped down because they had to get him up.
Mm.
Well, at least everything is well stitched in this episode. There was some clothing last week that was like not even ready for prime time.
That's because it was the second pilot. It wasn't even necessarily meant to be aired, possibly.
True, true.
So, knowing TOS, Captain Kirk's going to do some punching here, right? So, I want to try to look out for which one is a stunt double during the punches. Or, how obvious it is.
That's
Well,
definitely
Like, that's not
a
Captain Kirk.
little light, yeah.
the comm badge is on the waist to the
Not a
side.
comm badge, just a badge.
Okay. You know, the point of language is to
That
communicate and
definitely wasn't
understand
him.
the
You got
person.
a split-second shot of it.
That's not Captain Kirk.
And the raccoon eyes look really good on this one, on the fake one, the
Well, no,
crazy one.
what do you know? It turns out he can hurt you. He has a gun. Captain Kirk on the right is much slimmer than Captain Kirk on the left.
Yeah.
I don't really need him.
Tuvix.
So he's evil enough to assault a crewman in her quarters, but not evil enough to shoot someone who's trying to, like, kill him? You missed. What the heck? Did Good Kirk take all the aiming skills as well?
His aim was not a bit.
I think it's hard to kill yourself, if you ask me.
But that's not you.
Yeah, but he was
It's just someone
crazy.
who
But
looks like you.
he knew that he didn't want to.
It brings me back to Captain Kirk at Ruapenthe, his lifelong ambition. William Shatner can never shoot himself. But specifically William Shatner.
That was a great scene too.
Anyone else,
It's like,
totally
me, you
fine.
would hit him.
Spock would totally shoot his double.
Riker shoots his double. Picard shoots his double.
Yes, good job, Spock. Stand in front of the double's face. Well done.
Oh, okay. But he was also stupid. That was his other negative side, because he didn't know how to do anything. You know, another thing.
Oh, this line
you know,
is also used in Prodigy. Not that one. Just the what makes in a man an exceptional leader.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. I didn't realize. I was wondering where it was from. So, this is the 60s. Freudian
Yes.
psychology is all the rage. It is very advanced, very well accepted. So this entire thing, like your id and your ego, your superego separating from each other, and like your uninhibited impulses.
This reminds me of like the idea of the alpha male. Like Kirk needs to be a little bit evil because that's what you have to do to be dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
there
maybe-
is this has been done a lot since it, where there's negative elements of people's narratives where it has to be, even in Star Trek as well. But it's done
yes,
better
like how
with that.
Captain Picard is a little bit hateful toward children. It's vital to his command posture.
I mean, there's actual analysis
But yeah,
of the
yeah.
negative side.
Captain Picard is also committing a couple genocides, but whatever.
Do they not have shuttlecraft? Is that not a thing?
We didn't
they
have
will.
the budget for it yet.
Yeah.
Galileo 7 will give us the budget for it. But right now, don't ask us about shuttlecraft.
Also, whenever we get shots of the planet, I want everyone to just look around, observe the rock features, what they look like, the positions, because we're going to be seeing them a lot.
Good old Kirk's Rock.
But you know,
Do we ever get the Vasquez rocks in the series, or is that a movie thing? Because the Vasquez rocks absolutely show up all the time in Star Trek.
in the Gary Mitchell episode and even the one before, where the guy is self-doubting issues, they have like a psychological profile in every single crew member. And I just consider that like, hey, that's part of your job, that we're gonna know how your what your shrink thinks about you.
Okay, yeah, these blankets, there's no way that's helping. They're
There's-
totally dead.
You're not. And by the way, that's assuming you mean Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
It doesn't even matter. These people
Yeah.
are super dead.
Hey, look, we heated up rocks with phasers. So you should have been done that. Why did you wait till 75 below zero?
Why don't we heat up the other rocks as well so people can get their own personal heat rock?
Can't use too much power.
Is this a case of like everybody on the production team is American and they don't know what minus 75 Celsius is?
In Chicago, it gets to minus 10 in the winter sometimes.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Minus 20 even is like heard of.
Still a big difference. These
Yeah,
people are
that's true.
super dead.
Yeah, no, minus 25 is not America at all.
This is minus 75.
Yeah, you
Degrees
can't compare.
Celsius would be interesting.
You can't compare. Oh, good acting.
It's acting for sure.
We're all here for
Oh yeah. A lot
This
of
is-
acting. It's a good quantity of acting.
madman acting. Look, everyone. It reminds me of Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
I liked that spin transition when you blur everything out so you can cut between two shots.
Yeah, so there's not two halves of you. There's not a good half and an evil half, unfortunately.
No,
You're
it's
one.
not.
You're one integrated personality.
No,
You
in Star
can't-
Trek there is.
You
Well,
can't
it depends on who
bifurcate
you are.
yourself like that.
But there are. But yeah, there is. It is in the intrinsic part of it. It can't be separated.
There's
Yeah.
an entire race in Star Trek that figured out how to do this deliberately, and the evil sides all coalesced into a big oil blob.
I mean, in a way,
And
Vulcans and
called
Romulans
itself
did it too.
Armus.
That's true. But in a way, Vulcans and Romulans too. Romulans were the instinctive, passionate part, and the Vulcans were the cool, logical. Alcohol is not a good way to self-medicate.
It's just to relax, basically. That's
Okay,
what
okay.
Lee's using it as.
Okay, unless your doctor says.
Oh, in the cage, the original pilot, he's still bartender and your doctor.
Yeah.
What is 60s? How did
Well,
people survive the 60s?
In fairness, I learned that there's something called rescue remedy spray, and it's something that EMTs carry on them. It's a little bit of alcohol, but it's also like herbal flower calming things, vanilla too, because it calms you. And it's just like if someone's in trauma, it'll just calm them down. So a little spray of alcohol to the tongue is helpful.
Just let Spock command it. He'll be fine.
He didn't have any logic. He just jumped onto a thing and then tried to jump down. He was putting on makeup for Yeoman Rand.
Yes, I know your voice, Spock. Thank you very much. I don't need you to clarify that.
Episodic television, you don't know who's tuning in when, so it might be your first episode. He has blue eyeshadow because he's bad.
Next time I have to ask a coworker a question, I'm going to premise it with Ryan here. Have you seen that spreadsheet? Oh, don't test it on the animal.
Oh my god. I mean, that's
It's
how we
pretty
did
close
it.
to the end. I don't know. I feel like this isn't gonna quite work. They're gonna need to make some small adjustments. Also, Scotty bumped the dog. Very rude. What
This
kind of
one's
dog
the
is that? It's some
Chihuahua.
kind of terrier.
This one's a Chihuahua Terrier.
That. Are you sure? That doesn't look like a Chihuahua to me.
Sorry, I don't know anything about dog breeds.
Ooh, Paramount specified it as a sonic pulse.
Schrodinger's cat was also kind of new to the public discourse. So the idea that you have one cat that's dead and one that's alive. These pooches. Oh, they're
How they
gonna.
got the other dog to just be asleep unless it is a doll or toy sleeping?
I think they just tired it out. No animals were harmed in the making of this. Right? Right?
They're done. They're dead.
Uh-oh.
I'm just reading through Memory Alpha trying to find what type of dog it is. Dog, you okay?
Yeah, the dog's just in the buffer. He's just
Remember
hanging
Star
out in the
Trek
buffer.
2009? The reason why Scott was like banished to an outpost? He transported and lost Admiral Archer's prize beagle. Oh, that dog's dead. Yeah, there's
That's
too
what
much
happened to
time left in the
Porthos?
episode for that to have worked. Does that count as an away team death?
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
the dog was with the away team.
Yeah. That's an away team death. It came from the away team.
that's true.
That's the dog they brought back.
Wait, what system do I need to implement here? The dog system? What? I was browsing Memory Alpha.
Kirk's still in command at the moment.
Oh,
No,
that's
Scott, that is not shock.
why one couldn't stop being aggressive and the other was like totally a happy pooch.
That's not any kind of spark of shock that actually exists.
Right.
That
I mean,
might be fear. That
you
is-
can die
that's
of shock
fear
though,
and
right?
Terror.
Yeah.
But shock is the medical term. Shock is where it is defined by a lack of blood flow to the vital organs.
But dying
like-
of a shock, like being
Gotcha.
shocked, not with
Yeah, and
electricity, is probably more likely to be a heart attack.
Yeah.
usually after a traumatic episode, like even a car accident, you're in shock because your
Yes,
blood
that's it.
flow and
Yeah, that's about the blood flow and getting oxygen to the vital organs.
yeah. You can usually read it on someone's face, or like they're not answering correctly and all that. They're still processing.
But there is definitely that fear can cause you to
Have a heart
die
attack.
to an extent.
You can also die if you're like, what if your boyfriend goes and murders a bunch of children and then gets all burny?
Yeah, that would to an extent be classed as shock, but not medically so. But you have the actual cause of death, which would be a heart attack due to emotional shock.
But what if you're losing them for reasons that you cannot explain?
What are we talking about? Bernie?
Padme.
You're being weirdly specific. Roughly.
Padme
Padme Amidala.
Amidala.
Okay.
It is technically possible that she dies of a broken heart.
Yeah, for sure, that happens.
That's the you do die of a broken heart too, because even dogs, I've heard, like they, if one dog passes away and the sibling just doesn't eat, or the companion. It's
Yeah,
over.
that's more that they die of starvation in that case. We're talking literally Padme died of a broken heart.
Yeah.
Which can happen.
It's excessively rare, but it can.
Well, that's the no that we saw on camera.
Well, wait, who's talking? How are we supposed to know who that is?
Or
Yeah, but how are we supposed to know that's Uhura? She
'Cause-
didn't say Uhura here.
in the other episode,
Is she a lieutenant here?
yeah.
Nobody cares about her name.
117 below. Yeah, no, they've been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting dangerously close to absolute zero here.
Yeah, they're halfway there.
The writers of this episode really have no idea of temperature.
If they're in Fahrenheit, it is minus 83, but even that is
You're still dead.
into death. Yeah.
Like, you died 30 minutes ago. It doesn't matter.
No, you died 50 degrees ago.
Yeah. Especially, they have like a thin blanket over them.
I mean,
Like,
you can survive minus 30, but you need to actually be in proper cold
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah.
Not a light shirt
And
and
you
a
gotta have
little blanket.
You gotta have someone to cuddle with.
Wow, Shatner talking to Shatner.
That killed the dog. What do you think's gonna happen to you?
Oh, yes. Be careful which side you're standing on. You have to make sure you're standing on the side of the bed opposite the camera, so the body double is looking away from the camera.
They did a really good job, beside the jump cuts.
It is a good job for being probably not the first, but one of the early ones attempts at doing it.
Okay, this is clearly a trick, and I vote we shoot him. Yep, clearly a trick. Shoot him, knock him out, and go through the transporter with him unconscious.
I believe that is exactly what he is about to do.
If that's
You
what he
got
was
beat up
planning
by
to do, why
yourself.
didn't he shoot him?
Oh, he took his clothing.
Yes.
Janice? Janice, do you have a gun?
So this is what gaslighting is called?
Yes.
They'll just think you believe anything you tell them. I thought we were in a consensual relationship. Well, he's right about that.
Because they've been dead for an hour. Spock, are you not going to question this? The man who you know has a duplicate?
No, he didn't. He didn't cheat the clothes. He just went and put new clothes on. Unless Kirk did that in the intervening time.
You know, that look in his eye that he has is the same look the imposter Iman has in Star Trek. Not me, him. He vaporizes.
This is another perfect time where the solution is clearly to shoot them both and sort it out later.
Yes, you could
Yes.
just send them both through it. It wouldn't make a difference.
Look at the one with the wrinkled shirt. That's the one who's not the captain. Never mind.
But the structures are basically the same place, which would be a little bit difficult to actually achieve in real life.
It is. Yep. Yep,
Look at
that's
me.
clearly good,
I
Kirk.
am the captain now.
I gotta say, I love the music. Even the last episode too, when Spock was trying to sort out his romantic feelings for Christine. There's nothing like having a real live orchestra. Well, also Alexander
I
Courage.
said last week that William Shatner show and William Shatner movie look like completely different people.
Yeah.
But for some
100%.
reason, evil William Shatner with the weird lighting and the sweat,
Yeah.
that one this Kirk I can actually see as movie Kirk.
It's also they've flipped it 180 degrees.
Is that what it is? Is this just because he's flipped?
No, you're right though. His hair is totally different
Yeah.
in the evil one and the
It's
correct,
like
like
facial
curliness,
structure even looks a little
waviness.
different.
That's true. The way the hair grows is different. You're so right, Ryan. I remember too.
He looks like a younger version of movie Kirk. Good Kirk looks nothing like movie Kirk. What's the deal?
I really thought they recast someone else's movie Kirk the first time I saw movie Shatner.
But in that shot where Kirk was speaking to Kirk, they had flipped 180 degrees evil Kirk.
Basically, when his hair grows longer, it gets a little more wavier and curlier.
I don't know who Captain Kirk is hugging here, though, because that's clearly not William Shatner.
It's like a limp version of.
He has a different skin color. He has a different body
height,
shape. He has different hair.
Yeah, a different everything, different complexion of his hair, yeah, and skin.
And he's gone. He's dead. Spock, leave. Run away.
The dog should be dead too, from
Spock,
shock.
the ship is yours now.
The dog died of shock. From being in the transporter buffer, it just had so much shock.
If this were modern Trek, and this isn't a dig at modern Trek, this is just how storytelling has changed. We 100% would get a scene within the transporter buffer of them talking to each other.
Yeah. But it implies you're conscious when you're in the transporter buffer. Because when do the dogs have time? No, you're not.
We've seen that before.
Barkley is.
So you are.
You can't be. You're not even a brain.
They've shown it.
Okay.
Take it up with Rick Berman, because that's canon.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you I can't fathom that. But you're right. The dog died of shock. So
there's an away team member possibly dead.
I need more confirmation.
They're just icicles.
Yeah, they'll make it. Fine. They lived. Everyone lived except the dog.
But I didn't know this, but your fingers turn black when you get frostbite. And you come back. Because there was no oxygen to the extremity.
Unrelated to the episode, or semi-related to the episode, on the wall there were those two displays of the Enterprise, one from the side, one from the top. On the saucer was like half the size in one of those displays compared to the other. Those displays do not display the same ship.
I think like production models, pre-production models.
Oh, it's just to the right of Yeoman Rand here. Look at the saucers. They're totally
you're
different.
Right. It's more like a Nebula class version of the Constitution. What is it, Miranda? Yeah, Miranda. Soyuz. Or maybe those two are not to scale to each other.
No, don't put the Vaseline filter over Yeoman Rand. This is not the episode. Wait,
she was almost raped in this episode.
I need to scroll back. I think Spock just said something evil, but I didn't quite catch it.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Wouldn't you say?
He just he's
What was the
making fun of her
offhand comment?
assault. Did he just apply the? I think
Ew.
Spock just implied that she actually was into it. What?
Ew.
I'm just gonna leave that as it is and move on to the next episode.
Now
So-
I'm gonna talk about World War One.
No, you're not. So, next episode is Mud's Women, which
Oh
I'm
my
going
God.
to. I want to avoid talking about the deeply problematic aspects of it,
Uh-huh.
because if we talk about it, that's all we're going to talk about. Because it's the whole episode is deeply problematic.
Yeah.
This is a comedy episode, so just look at it in a lighthearted manner it was intended, okay?
The lighthearted manner of selling women.
Funny, funny, funny. All around.
Anyway,
Robotic
so
women.
This is, as the title would imply, our first Harry Mudd episode. And he doesn't look anything like Rainn Wilson. What's the deal?
Oh, okay.
Rainn Wilson was great, though. 10 out of 10 episodes. Especially that short trek about Mudd. That was really good. The androids.
This was a great episode too, though, without that actor. I mean, besides the nagging wife stereotype.
That's the next Harry Mudd episode.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. This episode is problematic for other more severe reasons.
Okay.
Ooh. Civilian Star Trek ship. We almost never see civilian ships. Oh, I didn't update the title. No, yes I did. Yeah, everything's fine. An Earth vessel? What is he doing? He's not like avoiding stuff. This is empty space. Also,
Hey, where's wearing
oh,
gold?
yeah, what are you
Oh, yeah.
wearing?
She's in gold.
She can't do that. It's illegal.
She's Lieutenant Commander Uhura, so maybe she gets the gold. Because they call her Commander Uhura several times as well.
But she's not wearing red. She doesn't wear gold for the rest of the series.
No, she does not. I've never even thought she ever wore gold until now. Purple lighting.
Okay, it's a Class J cargo ship.
Oh, there's an asteroid field.
I'm trying to remember what the cargo ships look like in Enterprise. I do know it's nothing like this. My god, they flew straight into an asteroid field. Ah, deflector screens. Is this our first deflector screen? Because the question remains, is the deflector screen different than the shields?
Also, Turtle's assuming him again.
Sorry, what did you say? Kirk is what again?
Turtle's assuming the male commander.
Well, it
Or
was the
not of its
60s,
time.
and his
Oh,
world
okay,
of
okay,
Starship
okay, I see
captains
what you're
doesn't
saying.
admit women. so-
Yeah, no, I mean, that was unheard. Yeah, that was unheard of. No offense to anybody who lives now. Like Uhura being communications officer was. Do you remember? And also in the series, in real life, Roddenberry had to get rid of number one or Spock. I mean, he was told to get rid of both, and he insisted on Spock, but he couldn't save the number one female, because like a woman first officer, like that's too far into the future than we want to fathom.
And
And now
these
we got
guys have
Captain
big
Janeway.
credits. Did you notice how William Shatner's credit though is like 50% bigger than everyone else's?
Yeah, and only 3 people get the credits in the beginning in these first few episodes, right? DeForest, Kelly, Leonard Nimoy, and
Two.
Shatner. Okay, 2.
So far, it's
Like-
only been the 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only been 2, so it's not like other shows later seasons too. That's like the biggest fight for actors.
Oh no.
Like whose name is first on the movie poster.
Okay, hang on. Here's the most problematic part of this episode. They're using lithium crystals, not dilithium, just regular lithium.
Oh, problem.
No wonder it's burning out.
Mhm.
Conveniently, though, their lithium crystals are burning out right next to a lithium mine planet.
Something crazy is lithium ion has totally taken over our society in terms of being a power source.
Ah, now we know it's a comedy because they play the comedy musical cue.
Yep.
When I was growing up, the batteries were nickel cadmium, and now we have lithium ion.
Canon question: Have they used the word federation yet?
No, it's UES. But we do hear Starfleet, right? Or no, Space Fleet. Like, tell the fleet.
I mean, it's being generous even calling Starfleet a fleet at this point, because there's like 12 ships.
I mean, we have Starfleet and Enterprise, and it's only one ship, basically.
Well, that's just them trying to make themselves sound cool in front of the Vulcans.
Right.
We're a fleet.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready.
The prototype. Our prototype is ready. Oh wow, I never seen those things light up like that.
It's a little painful to look at the way they're flickering, to be honest.
It's like 2 frames just flashing in and out.
We have successfully beamed aboard the cargo.
We're going to get robotic women. They're
Yes,
robotic,
but
right? Or is
these
that
people aren't robots.
Oh, oops. Okay, so it's called human trafficking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So they were posing like that before they beamed over.
Good question.
I think they know what their job is.
Well, their job is to be proper. No, I wasn't going to talk about it that much.
It's irresistible. That's their
They
job.
look pretty. I think they should be pretty resistible, honestly. I feel like the people in the transporter room should do their jobs and be professionals.
And report it to the authorities.
Well, they don't know this is human trafficking yet.
I don't think they're asking the right questions right now.
Mr. Walsh? Who's Mr. Walsh? Who do we like more? Do we like this guy, or do we like Rainn Wilson? Do we like Dwight or Walsh?
I think Rainn Wilson does it. Does
I
a good
think
job,
he's-
really good job of it.
Nails the role.
What is this music?
Saxophone
No,
implies
that
love.
wasn't really the question.
That was
What
weird.
instrument? But like, why is it? Why is it like noir?
Jazz
Also, why
and
does Mud here have a literal neck beard, but just in like one stripe across the base of his neck?
jazz is kind of used to express sensuality and sexuality because it was more of a
Oh
free
no,
flow.
he's even doing a fake Irish accent. There we go, buying and selling people. Though I was going to say before she's said anything and apologized, I was going to applaud the episode for giving us some subtle clues. Because that specific woman was looking a lot more nervous and sort of doing double takes at Spock.
Hmm.
Since we're not talking about that, I like that the pentagonal grate that they had, Phlox uses something like that in sickbay, that they just had in the hallway. More fancy though.
And there's more confirmation of human trafficking. This is the cargo. That better be a metaphor, Mr. Walsh.
So Spock didn't bat an eye, Kirk didn't bat an eye.
Yeah, they don't care. This wasn't even normal in the 60s, though, right? People weren't selling people.
I think what it is, though, they wouldn't be under Federation jurisdiction, so there's very little we can do. Like, I think, women in green body paint wearing nothing, that wasn't normal in the 60s either. So Irish people are con artists?
No.
I don't want to get muted.
So he does have authority, because he's literally going to... So, okay, Kirk did bat an eye. However, I don't think he's batting an eye about the slavery thing. It's just the evading the cops.
Right, and also you're using my ship to do the crime.
I don't know why they're playing the comedy music again. They are?
Because this is comedy gold, Ryan.
What's with...
The set's not even lit up on
Are
that
you
side.
okay, dude?
Whoever's been sitting in that chair
Needs
has
to
been...
get back to sick bay.
Yeah, everybody.
I don't think I've ever had the reaction... I've never had that reaction to somebody. I've never been literally paralyzed.
You've never been in shock?
I've always sort of thought about this episode that they have something physically additional to them. It's not just their looks, because like it doesn't make sense for it to just be their looks which causes everyone to do whatever they want them to.
The show never... The episode never says they have anything else going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
So we're gonna let the pimp coach the trafficked women.
Yeah, to spoil the episode a bit, these people, the women are taking some drug that makes them look prettier, which actually translates to them wearing makeup and dresses that sparkle a little bit.
Okay.
But as far as we know, that's the only thing the drug does.
All right. I mean, there's a lot to think about there, but basically,
Don't
Botox.
coach the witnesses.
Botox.
Also, I keep looking at his neck beard. It's not even part of his chest hair. It's separated. Oh, I think I know what they did. I think they wanted him to have chest hair, so they glued some on, but they didn't glue it like very far down. And occasionally his shirt just slips a little bit, so you can see it's just a strip.
So he has like a lot of lithium on his ship too?
No, they're going to a lithium mine planet.
Okay.
Where they're going to do some human trafficking.
Okay, well, that's how they're
where Kirk
tolerating.
is going to encourage human trafficking.
It is USS.
Hmm.
Oh, I like that triangle monitor in the middle, though. That's a good monitor. Make sure everybody
Yeah.
can see.
Yes, it is
Very
nice.
futuristic.
Also, this episode, keep an ear out. Okay, I don't know what that was. But keep an ear out. Later on, they're going to swear in this episode in My Star Trek.
Is it the N word?
Somehow magically knows that he's lying without even our quotation marks lie detector has a baseline to see if he's lying or not. This just goes, oh yeah, this guy's lying with no information to say
Yeah, I mean,
anything about
people
it.
even today think lie detectors work. Back in the
Yeah, but
Yeah.
60s, oh boy.
it in some federal courts they will use lie detector tests as
I mean,
admission
they
of.
shouldn't.
Right. Most courts they don't allow it. But
Smuggling? Okay, don't worry, I got a screenshot.
as you mentioned though, you get a baseline, right? So what's your name? What's your birthday? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? Who's your best friend?
Le Bar, France,
And
Captain, Federation
then
Starship Enterprise.
where were you the night of the murder? And when did you call the cab? And
Okay,
when did you get home?
so reading this out. Offenses: smuggling, sentence suspended, transport of stolen goods, purchase of space vessel with counterfeit currency. Sentences: psychiatric treatment, effectiveness disputed.
They had a very high opinion of psychiatric treatments in this era. They just thought everything could be figured out with a little bit of
Y-
psychoanalysis.
Wait, his thing says future police record code and then some numbers. What does that mean? Future police record code.
Like Interpol, we have future police. Braxton, Captain Braxton.
Now, one
Yeah,
thing I will say about
Vaseline
Walsh
cam.
positively, or Mudd positively, is if you look at his signature line, he has very nice handwriting.
Wait, so here's the: if you steal if you paid for a shuttle with fake currency, why do you get psychiatric treatment?
Well, I mean, look at him. It's the 60s, man. There's nothing that can't be sorted by a quick lobotomy.
Hmm. I love his earrings, though.
Did Kirk just say censor?
Yeah,
Yeah, Kirk's that censor.
The censor sounded given a little more or than usual.
I gotta say, I grew up on TNG, and the first time I heard the TOS computer voice, I was just like, "That's definitely futuristic."
Why didn't they just use ChatGPT for the computer?
I didn't realize it, but a lot of there's a lot of YouTube shorts are narrated by AI now.
Yes,
What do
unfortunately.
the women get out of this? Because presumably they're not actually slaves, right? But this is the utopian space future.
I think they get to be pretty.
No, Leo, Mud, you don't get to be the one to actually answer that.
Yeah, we're not asking you.
Okay, here's a little detail. The other two women got the Vaseline filter. This one who's actually objecting does not.
It's not a very high opinion of women.
No, it's because the other two are apparently accepting of just
Right.
being
The
property,
male gaze.
and
They're
this one
okay
is
with
trying
the
to
male
like be an
gaze.
actual person.
Yeah, don't you dare male gaze me.
Oh, that's his only charge: illegal operation of a vessel.
What about counterfeiting? Counterfeiting's pretty serious.
But it wasn't real counterfeiting because there's no currency anyway.
Oh, okay.
So put him in the brig now.
You want to like just go to Earth? You don't have to go to this desolate mining world to be someone's housewife. Another question about the drug. So, how does it produce dresses? Because when we see them later without the drug, they're just wearing like normal human clothes. Well, these are all humans. You know what I mean.
Mhm.
They're wearing everyday clothes. What do you mean rich? This is the space utopian socialist future.
They do still have money in TOS.
There's a lot of private
That was
enterprise.
way rare though
Oh.
than that.
The
Not in the
the Horda,
movies.
the
If
Horda
they want
episode.
someone who can buy them a planet, have they tried the Ferengi? I heard Cousin Gala owns his own moon.
The Horda episode is the mining consortium so greedy they're about to kill all the Horda eggs. So there's a lot of space capitalism.
The whole canon around money in Star Trek is probably something best not thought about.
Yeah, we
'Cause they
still
could
have
sort of go back and forth.
Yeah, because you can't call it communist and you can't call it capitalist. It
Title
somehow
drop.
transcends those two categories.
Got a nice title. Got a title drop there of the episode.
My God, it's Vaseline.
You know, we kind of revisit this in Star Trek Insurrection when Picard's girlfriend is like 200 years old.
Oh, I just remembered. Before I listed 4 episodes that were particularly objectionable, I would like to add a 5th one. Who mourns for Adonais?
Yeah.
It's an episode where there's a woman who joins the away team, which is always a bad sign in this show. But her whole role in the episode is to be seduced by the villain and join him. What? They've got to be affected by something because people are being really weird.
I'm doing good on the 10-second rule, Ryan.
Yes.
Thanks.
Is this like a distilled form of Orion pheromones? Which is also weird, but it's fine.
Yeah, McCoy usually doesn't get seduced so easily, but
Yeah, there's no evidence that humans operate on pheromones whatsoever.
Yeah, but this is the 60s.
It's very true.
it's still the science is still up in the air.
Which is to say, people are just making stuff up.
Well, I mean, in fairness, we still have commercials for ionized copper bracelets on TV today. So
Who watches TV?
true.
You still watch cable.
True.
No security on people's rooms whatsoever. Anybody can just walk in, even in the captain's room.
That continues in TNG and DS9 and
No, in TNG they have to say come in. Well, yeah,
override,
they say
security
come.
override. Yeah.
They say come and then it opens. So that
Yeah.
you can say that them saying come unlocks it so they're inside the door.
Yeah.
But
It's a
it's
voice-activated locking mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what? To be fair though, I remember, telling someone that I read about Bill Clinton. He grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and people didn't lock their doors at night. And I was telling this to my Jewish best friend who lived in a Jewish neighborhood in Queens, and he said, "Oh, we don't lock our doors here either." So
They don't do it in Canada either.
yeah, so
Well,
like
Canadians are stupid. Lock your doors.
I know I can't imagine ever not doing that. But back in the day, people didn't lock their doors. It's so weird. What's the point of having a door?
So I think the show's doing the thing again where Captain Kirk is the only one not really affected. He's a little affected, but he's trying a lot harder to resist.
He has to be perfect, man.
It's a little like the Metamorphosis episode with Kamala when every man on the ship wants her. It's like not every man.
Oh, TNG. I was thinking of the TOS episode titled Metamorphosis. That's like, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
I'm sorry. No, not that Zephyr Cochrane nonsense.
Yes, I know which one you mean. Yes. Perfect Mate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm getting my wires crossed.
No, you were, because she's, what's she called? She's like a subspecies. She's a metamorph.
Yeah, she is a metamorph. Okay, that's where I got that from. How do they do the Vaseline thing just on the right
Why don't we
side?
ever do Vaseline over Harry Mudd? Isn't he handsome?
So something really funny because we keep talking about space mining. One asteroid that we know of in our solar system has enough metals on it to make everybody on Earth like a millionaire.
That's not going to happen.
But what I'm saying is that once you start mining asteroids, the
Resource scarcity
space
sort of goes out the window.
goes away forever.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's the thing. There's a lot of metals out there.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna be a problem for money, period, because titanium's not rare anymore.
Oh, she needs another hit.
I didn't realize the Star Trek drug problem began this early. I thought the Jem'Hadar were in the game, and TNG was the first to introduce it.
No, don't you remember TNG? Wesley feels strange, but also good.
Yeah.
And this Enterprise can't land, right?
No,
No.
never.
Okay. Unless it's the reboot movies.
Right. I forgot about that. Voyager was the first to land in terms of Earth, like our chronology.
Well, I mean, the Enterprise D landed.
What?
right.
Fair enough.
Voyager was the first to land and then take off again
I see.
in short
No,
order.
the Enterprise D took off again. Remember
In
Picard?
short order, yes.
Oh,
I
I
covered
see.
myself there.
That was designed to do so.
Yes.
We have to be very careful the way we speak.
Voyager looks really weird to me when it lands, though, because the landing struts look like literal legs to me.
Yeah.
It
No,
looks like it has actual biological feet.
Right. No, it's like airplane wheels that roll out, but they're just like feet instead of wheels.
Is that the professional term, doctor? Medical scanner go bleep. Ooh, I like that bit of canon too. It's not just any frequency, it's a space frequency. Space frequency 39.
Mm. You know something really cool? So airwaves are owned by the people in the U.S. So back in the day, like the FCC sells the frequency to the channel, and that's why they're allowed to broadcast it. But the people own the frequency.
Yeah, that
All the way it works.
stuff on the ship.
I want to keep watching the helm as we go through the series. Because this helmsman, I don't remember him.
Uhura's good in gold here too, right? Or is it the same episode? Oh no!
Yeah, Horizon Gold. So this
Oh no!
is something for sure.
No makeup and your clothes are falling
Yeah.
apart.
They don't have the drug anymore, so they're losing their beauty.
Yeah, but your clothes lose their glitter too.
Well, the two blonde women, they just took the makeup off. But the woman with black hair, I think they actually put old person makeup on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. Or they just.
I think they also, well, the other two have a little bit on. I think they gave them some fake bags under their eyes. That looks like makeup. She looks normal. A little tired, but normal. Oh, they took the...
I mean, in the HD, I can see she has bad skin. But I have bad skin too, so I'm not allowed. I'm not making fun of anyone. Oh wow, pill popping.
That was quick.
Wow. President Nixon was the first to declare a war on drugs when he started the DEA. So it's becoming a social problem, drug addiction.
Not like he created them.
Yeah. It's just, it's a disease.
Don't do it. Don't take the pill. See, the pill made them all sparkly again.
That's
How does
pretty
it change the
futuristic.
dresses?
When are they gonna come out with this pill? Because I want to be all beautiful.
You want a dress? A fancy
I want
dress? Because I could get you a
sparkly.
dress.
I want a sparkly green dress.
What if it made you look like them if you'd stopped taking it?
Okay, I was silly for having engaged.
Oh, I was thinking I recognized him. I saw him when I was scrolling through for a thumbnail. That guy, I'm pretty sure, is the father of the kid that Wesley murders, the other flight cadet. Remember TNG: The First Duty?
Nick Locarno.
Yeah, when Nick Locarno there is there, and then oh, what's the dead kid's name?
Yeah, and the guy's waiting in the
He guilt trips Wesley so hard.
Yeah, but in front of him, they blamed the whole accident on the kid who died, and the
Yeah,
guy
but that's
just
the kid's
walks away.
father. That's totally him.
Oh, very good.
That's
You're
the
right.
kid that
'Cause
talks to Wesley and is like, "Oh, he talked about you. You were best friends. He said you had so much integrity and
yeah,
you would
and
never
instead
lie to someone."
you're throwing him under the bus, and his dad walks out all disappointed. He has the same disappointed look here. That's
Shit, I
cool.
didn't know we had any actors
Yeah,
keep between
crossing
shows,
over. Yeah.
except like McCoy in episode 1.
Yeah.
Nurse Chapel.
But she's a different.
She's not the same
Yes. Yes.
character,
Nurse
but
Chapel.
yeah.
But neither's this guy.
It's like in DS9 when you have Koloff, a core from Trials and Tribulations and Trouble with Tribbles.
Could we just like call Starfleet and get another ship out here?
Yeah,
Make a
you
delivery.
can float out in space indefinite. Well, actually, I suppose they do have life support to consider, but
Oh yes,
just-
Joshua Albert, and that dude was Commander Albert
Yeah, the poor
or
kid.
Lieutenant Albert or something.
And it might have been Lieutenant Commander. Oh wow,
I
futuristic
appreciate the
windmill.
wind power though. That's nice. I assume that's wind power.
Yeah, turbines.
I don't know why they look like turrets, like they're scanning for targets, but it's nice that they're wind powered.
Have you seen how contemporary windmills move? It's not like the old windmills of like Don Quixote's days, where it's like one smooth motion of the thing keeps moving. They have like
Excuse
a
me, are you
gear
talking
in it.
about wind turbines? Windmills.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm talking about. Because like one like just drops down and then it causes the other to like accelerate and go up. It's very I never realized that's their motion now.
So this is the life, if we're assuming they're not slaves, this is the life the women are choosing. This stone hut on a desolate, windy sand planet.
Well, full of miners with lots of money. I mean, not that I know this, but there's a lot of trafficking
There's a lot of sand, yes.
along truckers' routes, because like your lifestyle's lonely, and you may need someone for a night, and then move on to your next stop. So I'm pretty sure that's what these miners are doing.
Maybe it's a long con, where because they're rich, the plan is to get married and then murder them. Because that plan I could get behind. That would make sense to me. I'm down for the murder.
That's so nice.
It
We're all
definitely
friends.
looks like she wants to be here for sure. Definitely not trafficking.
I don't know. They're kind of passing her around from man to man.
See, they're laughing. They're totally doing the murder plan. They want them to fight and kill each other.
That would make sense.
Here's another problem that the transporters could solve really easily.
yep.
Just beam her up. What's the problem? What is
Yeah.
the sand
Not
in the way?
interference, no.
Turn them over to the authorities. Put mud in the brig.
Oh, keep an eye on the rock position. This is the same rock.
But also, she got upset because no one wanted her when she pushed him away.
Is that why she was upset?
She
I thought
said,
she
"Why
was
don't
upset
you
because she was
just?"
stuck on this backwards, desolate sand planet.
She said, "Why don't you just run a raffle and the loser gets her?"
I think she also well no, the other one called herself ugly.
What is happening in this episode?
The wind and the snow effect is like way too much.
So we're not doing transporter. Okay.
that assumes we're against that human trafficking is against the law.
Look, if you want to marry some guy with money, that's not me. My YouTube channel's not even monetized. Thanks, YouTube. I wonder if I can reapply now. I don't think so.
You should create another channel because that's one time I had my original content and my movie clips on the same channel, and they deleted it for Mel Gibson's Apocalypto.
This channel's not going to be active long enough to justify a transition.
They're going to turn off the channel at some point?
I'm going to stop posting on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to delete stuff. I mean, Paramount might delete stuff,
Okay.
but I'm not going to.
No, okay. Thanks. I might burst into song considering how much I love this channel.
Well, I got a mute button, so feel free. Ooh, they changed the color of the rocks. Did they paint them?
I think it's the same Sulu, right? I think it's a light. They just cast a light on them.
Yeah, it's definitely
Although-
the same rocks as before.
Remember in the cage when they heat up the rocks too? They have this effect where they can make they can tint a corner of the footage. So trafficked women are okay with it, apparently.
That seems to be what the episode is telling us. I don't know what the moral of the episode is, but it feels like it's pro-trafficking.
Right. We just bring them from one place to another and we go about our merry lives.
In the next 10 minutes or so, they're going to reveal the existence of the drug, and the actual moral is going to be beauty comes from within.
Oh, okay.
But how they get there is... I feel like I've used the word sketchy too much. The way they get to that moral is questionable at best.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, they're still cooking and cleaning even though it's the future.
If they're so rich, why can't they afford a Roomba?
I think it's a cast iron pan. It doesn't look like non-stick to me. So this is the precursor to the cave set.
Oh? An unexpected reaction, to be honest. The dude does his own cooking.
Well,
He's a proud miner.
you remember how Harry Mudd came in the cowboy hat? When you're living the cowboy lifestyle, you actually do your own cooking. Or men do.
How long have subtitles not been active on this?
This episode. Only the prior episodes were fine.
I swear I set them up. How did I not notice they were on? Well, we have subtitles now. Right at the end of the episode.
It's not like we talk about the episode anyway.
Well, you don't have to be rude about it.
Wow. Oh, so it was a cast iron pan because you don't really. Something people don't realize today. You don't just use and throw something. Stuff lasted you pretty much your lifetime. Your axe handle, or in our case, like hammers. If your wooden handle breaks, you can just put in a new handle in and keep the metal part of an axe or hammer. And we don't have those skills today, but people really had to rebuild their own stuff.
Who needs to be able to repair and rebuild stuff when you have 2-day shipping?
Yeah, that's the problem. I like circular playing cards, by the way. I wish I had a pair. Not pair, but deck.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Commander Albert.
Wow. He just called her a bucket. You know, I just remember I was watching Private Ryan, and this guy makes a joke like this girl fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. It's like comments about women's appearances.
So, okay, this dude, if you remember a couple scenes ago, the standard he set for himself was, "I've never laid a hand on you." Remember that? And
Mhm.
in this scene, like 3 minutes later, he laid some hands on her.
Ah,
Not living up to your own standards, Albert.
I don't think the Enterprise did a good job investigating this situation.
And then he lied to the captain about it.
Because
What does that mean?
meaning their fleshy
What is
parts are more fleshy.
what is
TNA, as
what?
I believe the colloquial expression is.
Now I will say this: her haircut is not doing her any favors. I I think that was a normal haircut in the 60s, but yeah, I'm not into it. A lot of 60s haircuts, to be honest.
Subspace radio marriage. So we had like Russian mail order brides. I guess the space equivalent of that.
Mr. Chillers, maybe you should just like retire and go somewhere else with people. You're already rich. Are we gonna crossfade into makeup?
We love beautiful
No,
women on
just
this
cut.
show.
Couple reaction shots, then hard cut.
So, around this time, Betty Friedan wrote a book called The Feminine Mystique. And it changed feminism quite a bit because it just talked about how, like, okay, you're a housewife, you live in a nice house, suburban house, you go to Tupperware parties, but you're unhappy in the inside because you're not allowed to live your own individual, unique expression of who you are as a woman, as a person. Very influential book.
My God. It wasn't even the real drug. Self-confidence was the makeup the whole time.
Oh, so she was just blinking her eyes a little bit differently? That was all. There was no drug involved
There was a drug up to
at the
before this
beginning.
scene, but
Yeah, until before this
somehow
scene.
the
Yeah,
colored gelatin also made her more sparkly.
the gusher. Yeah.
Because they didn't really have a good way to indicate that self-confidence
Right.
was the
Especially
actual
black and white
attractive part.
in those days. Yeah.
So they just put the makeup back on her.
And she turned her head real slow. And like you said, like her hair was all messed up a bit.
Was it even messed up, or was that just the 60s? Because it's still sort of that same style.
It's still like the bangs are on her head, but it doesn't look so disheveled.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sold on this. The hair
Yeah.
just
I mean, it's a wig too. It's like a 3-part wig.
I'm
Two
trying to
of
think of
us.
literally anyone in the show whose hair I do like.
So we're leaving her down here. Okay.
Yeah, don't. It's
Sorry,
well,
we're
she's
not
been
not
bought and paid
dwelling on
for,
this.
so
The moral that's not the morality of this episode. The morality of this episode is confidence comes from within. But look,
also don't worry about the fact that we never had a scene where Captain Kirk actually learned about the drug. He just happens to know about it now.
Yeah.
That's fine. TOS has a real problem with episode endings, where a lot of the time it just sort of stops.
in fairness, they say there is going to be a trial for Harry Mudd. So I mean, not
Yeah, but
for
there's not though.
trafficking, but true.
That's a very weird place to have a heart.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Don't worry
ribs are
about
still
it. Don't
there, right?
judge them.
Maybe your
What I
rib
mean
cage.
is on if it's on your side, it's harder for it to pump it around to an extent.
Like something messed up about our ribs is when we break one, it usually punctures our lung.
Mm.
It's not too smart.
So now that they know that self-confidence was the real beauty the whole time,
Yes.
now they can get back to the stuff that the woman also listed about what a wife should be, which is to cook and sew and clean and cry and knead.
Mhm.
Which is literally, I'm quoting, that's what she listed.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, that's an episode for sure. 100%.
Mm.
What are the other episodes? What's next week? What Little Girls Are Made Of, which doesn't inspire me based on the title, but I don't remember what it is.
Sugar
Oh.
and spice and everything nice is what little girls are made of.
I'm pretty sure they are mostly made of ovum and then a bunch of embryonic material. But anyway, next week is the one with Roger Colby, Christine Chappell's husband.
Oh wow.
So we get to meet him and his like vampire servant Lurch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some androids in there. And then
Little Girls,
Miri.
what Little Girls Are Made Of is
One of the
Colby
greatest
one.
episodes ever.
Miri is the episode where Kirk has a romance subplot with a literal child.
Oh,
Also a great episode. As well as Who Mourns for Adonais, another fantastic episode. I know you put it up in your content warning thing, but oh, this is Nazi children?
No, they're
Okay, no.
no. They're
Yeah,
doing
they're
that
feral
Fallout
children,
thing
though.
where all the adults died and they're all we're in charge now. We have our own society or Lord of the Flies. It's the Lord of the Flies planet.
Right.
Except it's actually just Earth again.
Right.
In the show, it's a parallel development planet because they don't have the holodeck.
Okay.
And then Dagger of the Mind, which I have zero idea what it's about. I scrolled through. As far as I can tell, it's just some dude going crazy.
That's from Macbeth when he hallucinates the dagger and he doesn't know if it's real or not.
I'm looking through right now. None of these scenes mean anything to me. There's a flashback to a Christmas party. What is this?
Is this a shadow I see? A dagger I see before me? The handle before my hand. Come, let me clutch thee.
But
Yes.
the 2 weeks after that have really good episodes in them.
The Enterprise visits a rehabilitation facility for the criminally insane where the chief doctor has been using a device which destroys the human mind.
Criminally insane. Curious expression.
And it introduces the Vulcan mind meld.
Okay. And psychiatrists are still doing freaky experiments in the
Yeah.
3rd century?
They're still mutilating people.
Mhm.
Okay, so that overview doesn't bring back any memories. I have no idea what's happening.
Me neither.
I'll figure it out next week. Next week, we're also going to lift the Strange New Worlds spoiler thing. So the last episode of Strange New World Season 2 will be Thursday, and the stream will be Sunday. Just because normally we have a 2-week thing where after the show ends 2 weeks later, the spoiler ban is lifted. This time I want to lift it immediately just because
Episode content.
Yeah, the fact that we're going to meet Roger Colby,
Mhm.
and I assume Chapel is going to have some big stuff that'll be relevant.
Yeah, so be careful about spoilers next week if you're wanting to watch Strangely World.
Just catch up on the show. It's a good show. You should watch it.
It is great. It is really good.
I wasn't sold on, without talking about the content of it, but I wasn't sold on the season 2 premiere. But the rest of the season, every episode has been excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Premiere was
Yes,
weird.
indeed.
But that's it for today. We're done here.
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, did we decide on a ending thing?
Not last week, really.
Oh, we still need something.
You're having a party?
What?
Ending thing?
No, we need, like, for Voyager with The Weak Shall Perish.
Oh, okay.
God, I don't know.
Give me the brandy bonus.
Well, this introduces the Vulcans live on and prosper, of course.
I'll just go with what we went with last week. Stream's over. Go away.